Taraji P. Henson is crying that she's not getting fair pay in Hollywood, but she's making more than most everyday black women. In today's Let's Talk episode, I'm going to be talking about, should we care that Taraji is not getting fair pay? Let's talk. Thank you for tuning in to the Star Self-Love Podcast. I'm Lanice James, your host, self-love coach, and advocate, here to help you learn to love yourself, create the life you want, and reach your full potential. So let's get started. During the promotion of The Color Purple, Taraji P. Henson shared her frustrations and not being paid fairly for years in Hollywood. And recently, she even considered about quitting acting. Even though Taraji is our favorite homegirl from the 90s, should we really care that she's not being paid fairly in Hollywood? Or should we leave this up to other black actors who promoted this Hollywood lifestyle and dream chasing? Besides, what about the everyday black women like myself and you who are definitely overworked and underpaid? I really feel like it's time for Taraji to start loving herself, knowing her value, and demanding her respect in Hollywood, and no longer playing Miss Nice Girl, and really boldly call out the people who are mistreating her and other black actors in the industry. This is a really serious issue in America right now, the fact that black women have not and are not receiving equal pay for the same jobs that they are doing. According to a recent study that I found in 2022, and compares to a white man, black women are earning like 64 to 67 cents. And even though that we are the highest demographic of women that are in the workforce, we are still being underpaid. And most likely we are working the highest rate of minimum wage jobs in America. So this has been an issue for us. And even if we are professionals, like myself, I worked for years as a teacher and just recently, stopped teaching unexpectedly, we are still not being paid equally to other white teachers in our industries. And when we are paid equally, we get the higher level of students with disabilities and special needs, or have the high behavior problems. So either we're being overworked. I even worked in the healthcare industry before going into teaching, and the same thing there. Even though some of the nurses may be making the same amount, the black nurses or the other white nurses, they would definitely get the harder assignments. The patients that needed the most care and the most need that the other white nurses didn't want to take. So it is still like racism. We know that systematically racism within the workforce in America, on top of the not being paid fairly. So I feel like us as black women, we have our own battles and struggles to fight in the everyday world, everyday life, that we can be coming together to advocate for ourselves as a whole. And even though, yes, we are concerned and should be concerned with the unequal pay in Hollywood, I feel like that's out of our pay grade. That's out of our class status. Like, that's something that they need to do together. And then, maybe, as the people, if we feel like we want to promote them or support that, yes, definitely, show love. But they also need to use their platforms to advocate for, other black women that are not Hollywood celebrities, everyday black women. Not only do they have a responsibility, I feel, to do that, is to advocate for other, black women or black children who wants to get into acting in Hollywood. And I really feel like more of them should have stood more boldly with Monique. You can't always try to be the nice guy or the nice girl, and you don't want to rock the boat, and you don't want to upset Tyler Perry or Oprah Winfrey or whoever these industry, execs are. You have to stand up for yourself. And I feel like, Taraji P. Henson has the love of the people, but does she love herself enough to really boldly stand up for not just herself, but for other young black actors, that black women that are coming up in Hollywood. And I do feel like she is starting to do that, even though it has taken so many years and she has done so many great movies in Hollywood and never got the pay or recognition that she deserves. And she definitely took it for too long, but I feel like she can really use her platform to continue to do that, more boldly, not, try to not rock the boat, just say it a little bit. You're going to have to be bold and brave when you're going up against something like this, to advocate for black women and equal pay, because it's not going to be the little quiet little mouse that gets it done. They really need to stand together and do things more boldly and see what they can start doing on their own to make opportunities, because they can't just rely on Oprah or Tyler to pay them, or these, other white execs. They're going to have to make other opportunities for themselves and for other people that's coming up. And we have to do that as a whole, as black women. So I do feel like, yes, it's important for us to consider that and stand with them. But it also needs to be a two-way street. We need them to be using their platform to also advocate for themselves and advocate for, the larger group of black women who do support them. Because nobody is really advocating for us, and we're out here struggling and trying to make it every day, trying to take care of ourselves and take care of our families. And so I really feel like it's time for her to really start to love herself and know her value. And because she has allowed them to disrespect her for so many, many years, like Monique was saying, it's trickling down to the next generation. So there's no end in sight if someone is not willing to boldly stand up and come together to demand and make those changes. And so, I did see on Facebook that Taraji is going to be having a sit-down interview with Oprah. So hopefully it's not just Oprah wants to listen and she's being heard, that something is going to be resolved and change is going to come of this. Some bold change is going to come of how they see, young black actresses, come up, actors and actresses. So I really feel like, I wish Taraji the best in her career and her further endeavors. I feel like she has 2 good movies left, maybe 2 to 3 good movies left if she considered to stay acting. And she really needs to demand and get all that she deserves, get the pay that she deserves and put a little more on it. Put a little more cherry on top. Get the treatment that they deserve. I even just seen a clip of Danielle Brooks sharing, on the stage with Oprah, Taraji, and some of the other cast of The Color Purple, that when they first came, they were kind of put in one little space and they didn't have separate dressing room. There was no food there. And she said that Taraji did step in and advocate for them. But why are they being treated like that? Where's the respect for each other? Why aren't they given that respect, initially? Would they be doing this with any other type of actresses? They were doing this, legendary, reinvention of The Color Purple. So right now, give them that respect that they signed up and coming on, initially from the get-go. Now, I understand you can't control everything. I'm pretty sure a lot of people work on the set and everything. But it really needs to be a little bit more consideration and respect. So, like I said, I really wish her the best. I do kind of see her doing maybe being an influencer, feeling like doing some type of brand deal where it's either clothing or something, because people do like her and she can influence people, and maybe that can generate the income, in for her. Because like I said, I know she's 53 now. I don't know how longer she wants to continue acting, but she's definitely going to have to start branching out and doing other things to, really generate the income that she needs and deserves. And then also use her platform to continue to advocate for other actresses coming up, maybe even join with Monique. I know everybody feel like she's like the loudmouth, But, you have to be bold in Hollywood because they're being very bold in the way they disrespect you and underpay you and mistreat you, and they're not hiding that. And so you have to kind of match that energy. But like I said, I wish her the best in 2024. Not sure if I'm going to be listening to the Oprah interview tonight. If any of you hear the interview, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and let me know what you think. Thank you for listening to the Start Self-Love podcast. I would love to know your thoughts about today's episode. Let's talk down in the comments.